For a closer look at the abduction, we are joined by the Executive Director, Ndi Foundation, Ndi Kato, who incidentally grew up in that neighborhood. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm just wondering what's going through your mind, considering you were in this neighborhood up until very recently. How did you hear the news? Who broke the news to you? What came to your mind?
I woke up, it's surreal, you read the other bad news coming from Nigeria, and you open and it's your turn. So I just opened, there's somebody that keeps sending news to my WhatsApp, and I just saw Abuja. No news like that comes from University of Abuja unless it's research based or it's a sleepy place, just really quiet in terms of the quarters, and they are taken, and you just know that now you know these people, every single person that is taken, you will know them. It was terrifying, but also there's nobody that lives there or knows of that place and the situation that it is in, that is the dilapidated way it lies, that those people are not open to attacks. It's fenced just wide in the front. The back is open, and it has always been open like that. We grew up with it like that. People can stroll in from the back, stroll out. This is not the first incident, that same street, of attacks. They can send 2 policemen or a couple of, even today I wasn't confident, I said in less than 2 weeks these people will be out of here. It's always been like that.
So who is responsible for, you said the front is fenced. I was thinking about the university authorities or whoever is responsible to fence the entire place. I mean the bank, because maybe you paint for us more a picture of the entire topography of the area. You know, and then who is really responsible for probably closing that gap, the back? Because I got it's like a bush or something.
Yes, I mean these issues, as they have their layers. There's the university authority. There's also funding that comes to the university, and these are today the major problems, because the VC was there, and one of the women in the families where somebody was kidnapped came to cry to the VC and said, we sent a letter. So it means that lecturers have been complaining. They have been talking about these things. It's just that it's like there was a girl, a student, I think last year or 2 years ago, who died on that express, the express of the permanent site. And until she died, they didn't put police presence there. When young people come down from the overhead, that bridge, that pedestrian bridge, they're mostly met by hoodlums. Nothing was done till that girl was running away from who she thought were hoodlums, and then a car hit her. A final year student dead. Then they put police there. So it's the same medicine after that. People have been complaining about these things. Lecturers have been complaining. They have sent to authorities. If you look at it on the ASU level, ASU has spoken to government, talked about the dilapidated state of Nigerian universities, the dilapidated conditions in which lecturers live, and nobody wants to take it seriously. The authorities, when people come and be VC, it's like people forget that you're part of this system, right? For somebody to be saying, look, this is happening, this is dangerous. I understand the lack of funds or the inadequate whatever of funds, but you need to prioritize. These are Nigeria's best brains. And we like to make fun of the Nigerian tertiary institutions or the Nigerian system, but everybody who works within the Nigerian system has to be really good, because you are teaching with next to nothing. The same way Nigerian doctors, it's the same way Nigerian lecturers. These are people that work on heavy research, provide heavy policy work for Nigeria. There's hardly anything you mention. Even the national conference, University of Abuja lecturers were part of these things quietly, and they're just left there. You need to, the reporter should tell you, she has said it, but let's also ask her what she saw in those houses. It's when they start talking and you realize this is a professor, that is a professor, that is a professor, that you realize, okay, these are serious people living in these dilapidated conditions.
So it's not just the breach of security, it's also exposing, the state of the tertiary institutions and and how we value our best brains, like you put them.
Yes.
But we've seen schools in the past, and like Amaka said in our report, she's covered extensively school abductions in recent months. We've seen schools with even fence, the best of fences, they are broken, and the bandits or whoever unknown are able to still get into the schools and abduct their victims. What would you be proposing? Yes, it's not fenced. You also talk about the scanty presence of security operatives, but would that be enough? Would it be enough to fence, to put security in security posts? Do you think that would solve the issue?
I think we need a wholesome approach to this, because in the first place, everybody who experienced this had something they kept saying, these people are 50. They may not have been able to count, but it was like they're like
They came
50
in large numbers.
large numbers, so they can overwhelm those that you have. So the country can't be talking of safe school initiative. I'm sure Arise TV covered that launching and everything, and not have a key security approach to our primary schools, secondary schools, tertiary institutions. There has to be something. If these are key targeted areas, then there has to be. And University of Abuja itself is on such a vast piece of land. You keep seeing, you know, strange communities allowed to settle into this piece of land. Okay, even when we're growing up, like it's really funny that, you know, when you just go behind those places, there's a stream. There's a stream, and back then, before all of this used to happen, you'd say, oh, there are some herders there, that's why the place is safe as a child. Or we're going to the stream, who do you know, there are herders there, you know. But now these are, like, over the years, once you're realizing, and so let's not isolate University of Abuja like it's just a community, just one. It's for Nigeria, the whole country. You're realizing that things are getting to this level and tertiary institutions are targeted. I mean, common sense will state that, look, there should be a security plan in place for schools. If you cannot break it down, if you say, okay, there are some secondary schools or primary schools you may have missed out on, what of tertiary institutions, federal universities? This particular one is so embarrassing because it's in the federal, that this is the university for Abuja, the seat of power, and it looks like that it is unsafe. You can't put 10 security there to ward off those boys. They were shooting anyhow. They had the bullets to waste. It's
really something that everyone, the government, has to get a hang on, because just like you said, a special security apparatus probably for the tertiary institutions, particularly knowing that these things have been occurring now and then. I don't even know where they're choosing to attack schools, but because it is happening now and then, the government should be able to either design a special program security-wise for our institutions, because again, it affects the psyche of the students and then the lecturers or professors themselves. Thank you so much, Ndi Kato.
Thank you for having me.
The Executive Director, Ndi Foundation.